FM live. My name's Joe. Thanks a lot for checking out this live stream. I'm sure some of you are already familiar with this channel, at least. If you're not, basically what I want to do is talk about a little bit about my team, talk about the fixtures coming up, but then really get into the meat of it and get into your teams, seeing basically what everyone's thinking in terms of the transfers they're doing, the captain picks they're making, and all your tactics basically to help out everyone with this game that we're playing all the time. Always talking about it, probably always thinking about it as well. Every bit of sports news that you see, how does it relate to your FPL team? Well, that's what we're going to want to talk about with this stream. So, I mean, straight away, just looking at some of the fixtures we've got. Obviously Norwich, Liverpool to kick us off. Pretty much Liverpool are in decent form actually of late, so I'm actually expecting Liverpool to do all right in this. Now I'll say get to my team later on. I did have Benteke last week, 1 point cameo, 2 weeks running, then he's now out. He could actually come back to haunt me, and Benteke could be a decent shout. Firmino, is that how you pronounce it, is coming into a lot of form for Liverpool, it seems, at the moment, so maybe that's one to keep an eye on. And also, just to note, just thinking about it now, I've got the live stream up and running. If you want to get involved in chat, there should be a chat function either on the side or below if you're on mobile, so you can actually talk amongst yourselves while this stream's going on. I'll try and get to any questions you've got kind of on that in a second. So this is actually the first I've done this year, obviously, and I'm kind of just trying to get to grips with the live streaming software and all that, and making sure that this all works smoothly. So if you can let me know of any issues that you see, use that chat function and I'll try and keep an eye on it. But anyway, back to the fixtures. We're looking over there. Norwich, Liverpool, expecting Liverpool win. Norwich pretty shaky at the back, so yeah, go for that. I haven't got any players in that game, so I'm not really that bothered, to be honest. Palace Spurs. Now, I am a bit bothered about Spurs because I do have 2 Spurs players in my team. So Harry Kane was my captain last week, which I will show in a second how my team got on. I'm expecting him to do well again. So why not Harry Kane? And also I've got Dele Alli in my team, who's such a cheap player at the moment, and he's really attacking and looking pretty good for Spurs. So well worth bringing them in. Now, I did load up on Palace when they had Villa away. When Villa actually managed to win, my Villa boys actually snuck a win, so that was pretty good. For me, as a Villa fan, I was happy with that. Even though my fantasy team kind of failed, I had Hennessy, Ward and Cabaye in the game that Villa won. So, yeah, now I haven't really got any Palace interest. I do have Ward. I was kind of debating whether or not to actually start him in the starting 11. Not too sure about that, especially with Spurs' attacking threat. Eriksen's coming back as well, obviously with his 2 goals last week. Really want to keep an eye on him. And yeah, so Spurs are looking pretty threatening and pretty solid at the back as well. So yeah, Spurs win, I'd say, on that one. But anyway, moving on. Leicester-Stoke. Leicester, wheels have kind of fallen off a little bit. Their run of form has been so impressive throughout the start of the season. They've actually managed to maintain it for a while, but now things are looking a little bit shaky. I think I saw a stat where only 17 players have been used so far by Leicester, and maybe that's now catching up with them a little bit. Maybe they're getting a bit tired. Mahrez, obviously, maybe the confidence is gone after he missed the penalty again. Whoever's got Mahrez unlucky. I have actually shipped him out after I did my wild card a couple of weeks ago, and I seem to have gotten away with it a little bit. Because Mahrez hasn't really done anything in the last couple of weeks. A similar story with Vardy as well. Obviously, his run of form was incredible for those, was it 11 games he scored? Or 10 games on the bounce? But now it kind of looks like it's calming down a little bit. So, yeah, just one to watch out for, I'd say, with the Leicester boys. But then, yeah, how well does Stoke travel? So, yeah. For me, anyway, I've not got any of these players, so I'm not really looking at that game particularly for points. One game I have got a very keen eye on is Man United Southampton. I'll get to that actually when I show my team. I'm expecting an upset there, and it's going to be led by one man, which I will get to in a second. Sunderland Bournemouth, I mean, yeah, again, I've not got any interest really in this game because none of my players are in it. I've got Smith for Bournemouth, who I've not really seen that much of, but he seems to be bringing in clean sheet points, so that's all right. Obviously, Daniels would have been the one to have last week, getting 18 points. I mean, yeah, it looked pretty obvious after the fact that he's on penalties as well, then yeah, missed out on that big points haul, but never mind. Can live with that. I mean, yeah, Bournemouth's defence, I mean, they're so cheap as well, so pretty much any of them, if they do pick up a good run of clean sheets, then you can all afford it. They're pretty cheap, so worth trying. And Sunderland, I mean, they've actually come back quite well, haven't they, with Defoe bagging plenty of goals. What is it, 4 in 3 or 3 in 4? I can't remember. I know he scored 2 against Villa, so yeah. And Van Aanholt as well. Where's that run of form come from? Scoring goals, playing pretty much as a winger by the looks of things, from what I've heard. Anyway, I've not really been watching Sunderland, to be honest. But he's bringing in a lot of points. Home to Bournemouth is probably the one kind of nailed-on clean sheet you would expect for Sunderland as well. I just saw they signed Steve Harper today as well, so I don't know if he's going to be playing now. Pantilimon left as well. It's a bit of a shake-up there. But yeah, Steve Harper, 20 years at Newcastle, was it? Now going to Sunderland. Weird one, but I suppose, yeah, apparently he's a Mackham actually, so yeah, good move for him. And maybe some clean sheet points for Sunderland again. Don't know, it's probably their best chance. But I'm not touching Sunderland right now. They're too much of a liability, I think. So yeah, I'll skip that. But moving on, Watford, Newcastle. Again, this is a game that I've not got any players in, so I've not really got a massive interest from my team. But with Ighalo, that's probably his best chance to bring in a lot more points. I know he's been off the board a little bit in the last couple of games, so maybe he's actually worthy of a captain pick. I think I've seen a few people captain him. I'll get to, again, hopefully get to your teams in a second, but I've seen a few of those Ighalo captain shouts. It could be worth it when they're hosting Newcastle. Newcastle don't travel that well, so it might be worth looking at Ighalo, bringing him back, especially if you took him out lately because he's so cheap. I haven't got him, and I got to say we'll get to my team in a second. Ighalo with the game they've got against Newcastle could be a very good shout. Now, West Brom Villa, me being a Villa fan, have to predict a Villa win. All those clean sheets that West Brom got at the start of the season, well, they're going to be wiped out this weekend because Villa are going to continue their excellent run of form, unbeaten in 4 games, is it now? I mean, we destroyed Wickham, beat Palace, and Villa, I don't know. The cruelest thing you can give a man is hope, and this little run that Villa are going on just makes me hope that they can get out of it. Realistically, I don't even want to say it, that Villa don't have a chance of staying up anymore, but we'll see. So obviously it's a massive game, the derby with West Brom, and if Villa can get a draw, then I'll be happy. If obviously Villa win, then I'll be ecstatic. And again, I've not got any Villa players at the moment. For those familiar with the channel, I did have Guzan for a while, and people wanted me to captain him. Well, that's not going to happen anymore. He's not in my team, so that can't happen. But yeah, anyway, Bunn's in now, and obviously saved the penalty the other day, against Leicester, obviously. Worthy of potentially bringing in. I mean, Villa haven't been conceding that many goals either. We've not like capitulated in all games. It's just we don't score. That's the problem. And so, yeah. Anyway, from the fantasy kind of point of view, then maybe one to avoid all Villa players. Now, West Ham City is the game that I can't predict. I don't know if anyone can in the comments. If you're thinking about Aguero, I'm sure a lot of you have already got him. I've got him in my team. Took out Yaya. There seems to be a little bit of unrest. I've heard rumours that, Yaya's been mouthing off or something like that. I don't know the full story. But he could be out of favour now, so that's why Yaya's out of my team. And away at West Ham, I don't know. It's pretty tricky. Aguero, obviously coming back to form, should do all right, but I don't know. Maybe if anyone's got any opinions on this in the comments, then please get involved, let me know, and I'll try and get to those in a second. But yeah, I'll just finish off the last couple of games are the big ones, really, from the FPL point of view, especially for my team. My captain is in the Everton-Swansea game, which I'll get to in a second with my team. But this game could well be a goal fest, could be seeing Everton back, obviously, on home turf. Yeah, Lukaku, can his run kind of continue? He's been on fire pretty much all season. Is it time to bring him in? Is it time to have him as captain? Most of you have probably got Lukaku already. Not many of you would have taken him out recently, so yeah, it probably is a good shout to captain him. From the Swansea point of view, I mean, they got the clean sheet last week against Watford, but Watford did look pretty poor. So how they're going to change things up going away at Everton, I don't know. Swansea obviously got the new manager as well. Is that a big factor in how they perform? Are there players that need to impress the new manager? I don't know. All I can see in that game is an Everton win, maybe by 3 or even 4 goals. And well, that's what I'm hoping for when you consider my team. And the very big game, Arsenal-Chelsea. Well, I mean, former champions going away to the Emirates. They've not looked like champions at all this season until the last couple of games. I mean, Chelsea are now coming back, potentially. Costa's obviously getting some points. Fabregas even popped up with a goal. So, yeah, maybe it could even be time to turn back to Chelsea. I mean, for me, watching Arsenal in the last few years, they seem to always start off the seasons really well and then drop off after Christmas. I don't know what it is. If they can't handle the cold weather in the winter, or if they just get tired too much. I don't know what it is, but they seem to never be able to finally kind of get their potential across the line and actually win the title. So on that basis, I'd go for a Chelsea win, although it's a tough one to predict. But anyway, that's kind of my feelings on or thoughts about some of the fixtures. I know some of you have already got into the comments and have already kind of put in some of your predictions. I can just see them. But first of all, I wanted to just look back at how my team did last week, because I actually did all right for a change. Maybe it was because I didn't do a video. Maybe it's because I switched my Twitter handle. Whatever it is, something seemed to have done the business. Something worked for me last week, it seems. So captain pick, Kane, did all right. Got 10 points, obviously doubled up to the 20, so I was happy with that. Should have captained Aguero, maybe. It was pretty much 50-50, a coin flip between those two. And I was happy either way that I got the captain's armband on one of the star players for the week. So yeah, I was happy with that. Obviously Aguero did well. Ashley Williams for Swansea came up with a goal, clean sheet, 3 points, happy days. So yeah, those 3 really were the main players for me, the main points scorers. Yaya disappointing, didn't start. Benteke the same. Ali blanked. I brought in Antonio for West Ham just because they were playing Newcastle, one of the bottom teams in the league. I thought there could be potential for West Ham to do well. That didn't work. As for Laqueta, obviously conceding 3 for Chelsea, didn't work. Courtois, same story. Ayew was actually quite disappointing as well for Swansea. Didn't really do anything in that game. So, yeah, potential for him to actually then be dropped. And Smith, like I mentioned at the start of the stream, I mean, the Bournemouth defenders are all cheap, cheerful, and they're bringing in points. So, yeah, something to look out for. Maybe now, in retrospect, the one would have been Daniels to have because he's got that potential to score goals as well. But anyway, that's how my team did last week. So, pretty good. Actually, a big jump in the rankings. I know, 670,000 isn't great. It's not really one for me to then say I'm an expert at this game. Like, no, I'm not. But from the start of the channel, that's been the whole point. It's more to just kind of have fun and see what we can do. Now, so speaking of having fun, here is my team for this week. So the big transfer news from Nordicking Around FC is that Charlie Austin comes in straight away and is going to start against United away. Basically, I tweeted out something a long time ago back in August saying I was waiting for someone to sign Austin because of the WWF reference, and that's about it. So I had to kind of stick with that. And so Austin is in, and I'm hoping for him to deliver stunners and whatever, drop an elbow or two onto United defence and come up with a few goals as well. Now, realistically, he's probably not even going to feature from the beginning of that game. I mean, there's no reason why Southampton should drop long. So, yeah, that's probably going to be a 1 point cameo from Austin, if I'm being brutally honest. But for me, it was funny to have him in there. And hopefully it's going to result in some funny tweets as well. We'll see. But yeah, Austin's in. That was one of the signings that I made. But I did make two other transfers as well. So I've brought in Baines because I'm pretty sure that he's going to be more of an attacking threat for Everton now. And with the Swansea fixture, I just see them scoring a lot of goals, and I think Baines could be a big part of that. Obviously, he got the 2 assists, was it, last week? And this thing about him being on penalties as well. Now, people say he won't be, is going to be given to Lukaku, but I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think Everton have had a penalty since Baines has been back in the team. So all this talk about, okay, maybe last season Lukaku took over, but that might have been when Lukaku was low on confidence, he wasn't scoring that much, so Baines kind of gave him that responsibility. But for me, I think Baines is still on pens, and anyway, he's still on corners and free kicks, so yeah. So that's what I'm bringing in Baines. I think he's got really high potential to score basically points at both ends, so yeah, happy with that. And my captain pick is going to be Ross Barkley. Now, obviously, I wanted to go for the comedy angle, bringing in Austin for Benteke. Excuse me. Instead of Lukaku. Thinking back, I probably should have brought in Lukaku. That's probably the safer move. But I brought in Barkley instead of Yaya. And yeah, I'm going to make him captain. The one thing I'm not sure about here for my team is the Courtois or Hennessy. I think either way I'm kind of screwed because Hennessy's got Spurs. Courtois playing against Arsenal. So yeah, goalkeeper situation is a little bit rubbish there. But that's what I'm going to go with. But anyway, that's kind of what I'm going with. I'm seeing this. Even Ward, again, I'm not too sure of. It's going to happen though at some point during the season. All of your players are going to end up playing against each other. It's just, for me, it seems like pretty much all of them are. So yeah, I've got the City against West Ham, Spurs against Palace, Everton against Swansea. I've got all that combo. And Arsenal, Chelsea, just, can't seem to split it all. But anyway, let's get to some of your teams. So I think that's enough from me and my lineups. I kind of just wanted to, I've been asking for a lot of you to tweet me your teams, and thank you very much for everyone that has done already. It's been really good just to get your kind of take on things, see how you guys are kind of thinking, who you're putting as captain as well, things like that. Excuse me. So yeah, starting off with, this is Anthony's team, I believe. I'll try and get the Twitter handles if I can. But yeah, this is Anthony's team going with Vardy captain. Interesting one. Maybe that's betting on Leicester kind of, coming back to form, possibly. And even still got Mahrez in there. Got Wijnaldum as well. Doubling up on Newcastle. Interesting tactic. Even going with a Phobie for Bournemouth as well up front. So yeah, really interesting one. This team looks like it's got a lot of money in the bank, I'm guessing. So yeah, it looks like you'll be free to bring in Sanchez as well. So going to a few other teams. I don't think anyone's got Sanchez yet from the teams that I've been tweeted. So yeah, it looks like a lot of money is in the bank for this team. And I like to see Baines in there as well, because that means that I'm on the right lines, I'm guessing. But yeah, thanks for that. Is it T. Astle? Again, forgive me if I don't have the Twitter handles to hand. Sorry, I just took screenshots and took them from the tweets. But I'll actually be skipping over to Twitter, actually see how many more people have tweeted me. So do that, it's kind of more live as such. But these are just some screenshots I've had earlier today. So I wanted to just highlight those teams because that was, what was sent to me earlier on. So this team going for Kane captain. Again, it worked for me last week, so yeah, why not? Got Payet in there, Mahrez, very good. Özil, I've got a question mark over him. I don't know if he's worth having at the moment. I know he was ruled out through injury last week, and now Sanchez could be back. So, but I mean, Özil, yeah, he's proven quality. So, I've just got my own personal doubts. No real reason as to why I'm doubting Özil. I just don't think he's going to do it this week. Could prove me wrong. But in those big games as well, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, nice lineup. And going for another team. So this one is from Michael. He's got Kane as well as captain. Managed to get Lukaku in there. Bojan on the bench away at Leicester. Interesting one. I think, yeah, it looks like you've got a very strong midfield there. Some of you could argue that that's kind of a template now, that all those players, Mahrez, Payet, De Bruyne, Ali and Özil is pretty much the standard. Those are the 5 midfielders that pretty much everyone is either looking at or should have. You've managed to sneak all 5 in there, so that's pretty impressive. And, well, decent amount of money spent on goalkeepers as well. So Cech and Courtois, a lot of money tied up there. I don't know if there's any alternative goalkeepers that anyone can think of that anyone would want to put in just to free up some funds in this team. But it does look very strong to me. Yeah, you've got Sanya at the back. Don't know, was he a rotation risk now? I think, yeah, Kolarov's out. So maybe Sanya should play. He should be all right. And unlucky with having Dawson in there because Villa are going to score. That's it. Okay, moving on to another team. So again, thanks a lot for tweeting me this. The Twitter handle was Aguero141, I believe, and I think it was the name Sergio. Probably got that wrong, so forgive me. But yeah, going for Aguero captain. Has got Costa in there as well. So that's the first team I've seen so far that's actually got Diego Costa. Don't know when you brought him in, but if you did the last couple of weeks, then you'll be very happy, I'm sure. Butland in goal. Yeah. I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, it's that kind of, it's 50-50 almost. Are Leicester going to come back and do the business? Don't know. But then, yeah, you've got between Butland or Hennessy, both tough games for the goalkeepers there. But yeah, it looks really good. The whole team, to be honest. Arnautovic is a doubt. I didn't actually know that. I've still not touched him. I've not got him in my team yet. I know he's a cheap option, Arnautovic, but yeah, with that yellow arrow or yellow marker, I don't know. Right, what I want to do is just double check if we've got a few live tweets. So bear with me 2 seconds. All right. Right, so this now should, if this works properly, yeah, good. So now you should be able to see some of these teams and the actual people that tweeted them. So yeah, that's probably a bit easier and probably a bit better for you. So you can put some context and you can put some names to the teams. So yeah, going on to Matthew's team. Didn't think I showed this before. No, because you got Giroud in there. Let's bring it up properly. So yeah, that might be a bit harder to see now actually. Let's stick with this. The starting lineup. So then Loris in goal, Dawson, Sanya. Fuck's sake. Yeah, good signing, I think, actually, having him in there. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I mean, I can't really think of any changes to this team. Let's just double check who you've got on the bench. Creswell, Suarez, new contract he had signed for Palace. Could be worth a shout, but I mean, with, yeah, that front 7 you've got, very strong. Can't really pick any faults apart from West Brom players. I'm not having any in my team because I'm a Villa fan. But other than that, yeah, very strong lineup. And looks like, yeah, you played all chips though. So maybe that might be one to kind of, yeah, be worried about later on in the season. So I can't see where you are in the rankings at the moment, Matthew, but I'm guessing you're pretty high. That team looks good to me. So I wouldn't suggest any changes. I think, yeah, Bunn will keep a clean sheet as well, just to answer your question, purely because I'm a Villa fan. Realistically, West Brom away is going to be tough, and probably Lloris has got a better chance. So if I'm being realistic, then stick with who you've got. But as a Villa fan, I'd say definitely go for Bunn. But yeah, Pad, we're definitely live. I'm not been able to see if you've been commenting on the live chat. because I've been kind of looking at other stuff. I'm just getting rid of that. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, Pad, actually getting to your team. So I know Pad is actually ranked in, I think, in the top 100,000, if not, top, what is it now, 90,000. So pretty good. So this team is going to be a lot better than mine. I mean, I'm 600,000 lower. So looks like really you should be telling me who to bring in. But it looks like you've got Mahrez on the bench, right? Yes. So yeah, now I wouldn't be afraid of benching Mahrez. See, now I've got a tough choice because, like I said before, your ranking is higher than mine. But what would I do here? So I would probably copy that. To be honest, I would be doing the similar tactic. Bench Mahrez, have him as first sub just in case anyone else doesn't start. I mean, maybe Ali is the one you could potentially look at swapping for Mahrez. But, I mean, the fact now Mahrez is probably going to be off penalties as well doesn't really do his cause any favours from an FPL point of view. That being said, he has the potential to really go ballistic against Stoke as well. So, I mean, for me, like when you do get these tough decisions, it kind of just comes down to a coin flip. I know, Pad, I've just been following your YouTube as well and Twitter feed and everything. So I know you kind of have been suspect to late changes, but I'm pretty much sure that everyone does that as well. I mean, I did it last week with a transfer of bringing in Antonio at the last minute, which didn't really work. But, you know, when it gets close to that deadline, panic hits, you kind of go chasing points. But yeah, so anything could happen. Anyone could change, I'm sure. You probably thought about different combos already. Maybe just Ali is the one to potentially drop for Mahrez. But again, it's 50-50, completely up to you. You know better than I do because you're ranked so much higher. But looks very good. So either way, I mean, you shouldn't be too disappointed. Whichever way you go, I'll be pretty happy either way. Marcus, thanks for your tweet. Thanks for getting involved. Sorry, guys, my voice sounds a bit croaky. I have been ill lately. So yeah, hoping this doesn't affect the stream too much. But anyway, so yeah, looking at that lineup, I mean, that is like textbook from the 2014-15 season or even before. Those three seem to have now come back into fashion, like they did a few years ago. I mean, that was the combo everyone had, everyone wanted, and now you've got it, and they seem to be coming back to form. So very good. Pretty much, you could captain any of those as well and be happy. Kane probably the obvious one because he's got the easier fixture. I mean, other than that, yeah, you've got Antonio as well, so that kind of helps me. Seeing your ranking, yeah, top 200,000, so already higher than me, but you've got Antonio the same. And Alderweireld as well, very good. Looking at other defenders, Neom and Shawcross. Again, the Stoke, now I'm thinking about it more, I don't know, I think Leicester might do all right again. But yeah, it's a tough shout. But anyway, I think that looks decent. I will just skip over just quickly just to the comments just to make sure that if anyone's asking any questions as well. Okay, cool. So I've got Pad is on. Good. Thanks for joining in. And, well, Aaron, hello. 32,000th in the world. So let's get to your team. We will do eventually, I know. I think I did see it. And, yeah, to confirm, Mahrez off penalties. Anyway, sorry. I just wanted to double check that there weren't any issues with the stream. And if you did have any questions for me, then fire them in there. But let's get to some more of your teams as well. So, Michael, if you want to do it again, feel free. I can actually get to your team. I know you tweeted me earlier, so I will get to that. If I can go on here, maybe. Currently 12,000. Wow. Okay, so now I'm a bit nervous. If I I'm going to be helping you pick your team. Okay, so yeah, but let's have a look. I mean, you've got those 5 midfielders so strong. Although I got to your team before, right? Yes, I did. Sorry. We already looked at your team. Sorry, I'm just catching up with the other tweets, but let's go back down. Okay, so Sves, I know you've been on other live streams as well, debating goalkeeper situation. So Adrian or Hennessy, either way is a tough shout. I mean, yeah, Spurs, I'm expecting Spurs to score away at Palace, but then, yeah, everyone's expecting City to score away at West Ham. So, tough one. I think for me, you've got it right, having Adrian in there. But again, it's kind of 50-50. Aki, is it, for Watford? I don't know much about him in the back, but you got to be, happy with that, I guess. But looking at that captain pick, interesting one. I did say earlier that Sunderland might be struggling for goals, but this is probably their best chance to bag a few. Bournemouth, like that. I mean, it's a different captain pick to what I've seen so far. It would have paid off handsomely if he did that when he played against Villa. So, yeah, it looks pretty decent. I mean, you've got a very strong midfield there as well. You're debating the Willian over De Bruyne. I would probably stick with De Bruyne myself if I had him. Now, I do have Willian starting for me, but I don't have a better option, really. So yeah, I don't know. This might be one better one to debate in the comments, because I would be siding with this lineup. To be honest, I think you've got it right. So yeah, that's all I can say. If anyone else has any advice for this team, then please feel free to drop that in the comments. But yeah, good luck with that. The captain pick is different to anyone else I've seen, which I like, because I've obviously got a different captain going for Barkley myself. So yeah, pretty good. And Aaron, currently on 1,237 overall, very highly ranked. Well, higher than me anyway. I'll tell you what, I'll bring up my team again. Go around the houses to get to the FPL site. Should have it bookmarked really, shouldn't I? But anyway, let's get to my... I just want to double check how many points I've got actually compared to you, Aaron. So you're, 1,237? And I'm 1,124. Okay, so you're well over 100 points better. So a lot higher. And I just want to double check where that puts you in my league as well. So 1, 2... Where is it? 1, 2... 1, 2, 3, 7. Okay. So yeah, Aaron Metz, there you are. So ranked 30th in my league. That's out of over that's out of over 700. I'm ranked around 300 at the moment. So yeah, pretty good effort from you, Aaron. Tell you what, let's even bring up how you did last week and then compare what your team looks like now. So yeah, overall rank 32,000, pretty good. So unlucky last week with Kolarov, had Johnson in there, nice. But what's the change? Lukaku in. Okay, so no transfers made, is that right? Doesn't look like you've made any changes. I don't know if doesn't look like it. But either way, Lukaku, as I did mention at the very start of the stream, I think Everton are going to do well. So I fancy Lukaku to be a strong player this week. I want Barkley to bring in the most points, but yeah, Lukaku should be on fire, should do well, and I think that's a very good captain pick myself. If anyone else wants to add anything in the comments, then please do. But yeah, I'll be happy with that, to be honest. So good luck, and yeah, just let me know how you get on, really. Obviously, I'll be keeping an eye on the Everton game as my captain in there, so good luck. And FPL Junior, Again, I think you're, yeah, if I see that right, Henry, you're active on the comments, so maybe you can actually add in some thoughts around your team, why you're going the way you are going. But it looks like, yeah, a very popular move is having Lukaku in there as captain. And you've actually managed to get Aguero and Kane as well. And Özil and De Bruyne. Wow. Yeah, so that explains why you're pretty high in the rankings, I'm guessing. That looks a very strong lineup to me. I mean, unlucky having Dawson. He's not going to get a clean sheet this week. And you've probably got the decent keeper shout. I mean, yeah, that's probably the best one I've seen. And it's probably the keeper that I would want and I think has got the best chance of a clean sheet this week. So, yeah, you should get some points out of that. Out of Ireland as well. Kane, yes. Bellerin, again, it's kind of hard to call the Arsenal-Chelsea game. So maybe he'll get points, maybe not. I wouldn't be banking on anything. I'd actually be more inclined maybe to even think about playing Smith. I mean, I'm, kind of debating that. But you probably know more than me. So, yeah, let me just double check if you do have any feedback. All right, nothing just yet. But yeah, feel free to drop in the comments if you did have anything, if you did have any questions, or maybe just to explain your thinking on the selection. But for me, I think, yeah, you've probably got the best 11 you could out of this squad. So yeah, very nice. And it looks like all chips are in play as well. Interesting one. Now, I'm probably going to do a separate video on when we do get to know about when the double game weeks are happening, because I do have some thoughts on that, which probably goes against the grain a little bit. Everyone's saying how they should save chips for double game weeks and how you should plan ahead, only play wildcards for double game weeks and all this stuff. Well, yeah, I don't necessarily agree, but we'll get to that when we know when those double game weeks are happening. But yeah, nice team, and yeah, it's going to do really well, I think. It'll continue to do well. So Dermot, I think you tweeted me earlier actually, but if you can tweet me again, it doesn't look like this has your team attached, so we'll get to that in a second. Callum? Yeah, I think Callum knows his stuff. I think he's quite prolific on Twitter, and yeah, it's quite high up in certain rankings as far as I know. So yeah, this looks like a very good team to me. Going Aguero captain. First one, is it that I've seen going for Aguero as opposed to Kane? A lot of other people going for Kane over Aguero. Unlucky having De Gea in goal. I wouldn't have that just because I've got Austin coming in and going to actually stomp a mud hole on all of the United defenders and going to score a lot of points for me. That's obviously joking. I don't expect Charlie Austin to do that well, but I'm bringing him in for a bit of fun with my team. Realistically, United have got a good chance of keeping a clean sheet. So, yeah, decent decision having De Gea in there, to be honest. But, yeah, otherwise, very strong lineup. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of the similar players in the midfield. Obviously, De Bruyne in there. Mahrez, will he come back to form? That's the big question, I think, for a lot of FPL players at least. I'm not backing him myself. I don't have him. I took him out when I played my wild card a couple of weeks ago. And so far, it's been the right decision to take him out because he's not really performed, not this year anyway. But maybe he's going to come back to form soon. So yeah, definitely worth playing, especially over the players you've got on the bench. But otherwise, yeah, very strong team, and be interesting to see actually where you are in the rankings. I don't have that to hand. I know pretty good though, so yeah. And second team, and I guess the criteria player needs to meet to be in this team. No. Oh. English 11. Is it? No. Yes. I don't know. Is it? Put me on the spot. Yeah. Is it Phobia English? I don't know. I don't know much about this guy, to be honest. But I'm guessing so. But yeah, Barkley captain. Maybe you're just copying my captain pick with that one. But anyway, if you're in the comments, Callum, then feel free to explain. Henry saying that Austin's out injured. Ah. Yeah, I've heard that he's actually okay. English 11, good. God. Um, yeah, that's kind of scary if Austin's out injured. I mean, I've seen some news saying that he's actually fit and available, and all I'm worried that he's going to be on the bench and not going to start. So, but I've heard that he's fit and well. So, yeah, we'll wait and see on that. Okay, so Zermit, thanks for your tweet. Overall rank, let me just get to that one. So, bit of context here, ranked 330,000. I mean, that's 300,000 higher than me, so better than me. And going to Lukaku, captain again, yeah, probably the safe shout. This looks familiar. I don't know if we talked about this one already, but Mahrez over Ali potentially is like a 50-50 shout. Because, yeah, you've got Igalo in there. Nice. I think he should come back to form, actually, this week. I mean, yeah, Newcastle's probably the best chance he's got to do it. So, yeah, looks like a very strong team, actually, all things considered. It's just, yeah, the only thing, like, that's what I'm now trying to do with my team is now the fact that you're ranked, where is it now, 300,000, but you seem to be pretty much having the same players as all the big teams. So there's a lot of these stars in there, meaning that the top players will probably have all of these players. So it's going to be harder for this team to kind of chase up those points. I mean, I did it last week. I actually went up about 200,000 places. I was down in closer to 1 million, just because I had Ashley Williams. If I go back and show you how I got on last week. So yeah, this is what I mean. I mean, my team doesn't really have many of the kind of standard template players, as it were, but I managed to go up the rankings. So because I had Williams, who not everyone has. Now I've brought in Baines, which is actually quite a low ownership. I've seen a few people on Twitter kind of thinking he's going to be the kind of, well, the mad pick I saw, and yeah, maybe the differential for a lot of people. And I'm thinking actually Barkley could be the one for me to actually really kind of jump me up those rankings. I mean, if he scores one at least, then yeah, that's a lot of points extra that not many other people will have. I know Barkley's been taken out of a lot of teams, maybe with good reason. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping they've just made a mistake by taking him out, chasing those points from the dream team players, the ones that have those blue stars. If you're chasing points or chasing the rankings, then you need to pick those players that are different from the top guys. It's tricky, but that's kind of the fun of the game. I'm sure everyone kind of, by now, we're on game week 23, you'll probably have worked that out. That, yeah, you need to pick not random players, but players different to the leaders to be able to then jump up higher. Yeah, you just got me thinking about that. But anyway, let's go back to Twitter and see if I've got any more teams to look at. Okay, Matthew, yeah, I'll get to your team now. Cool, so Matthew's tweeted, and first one I've seen all night that's got Wayne Rooney. Yeah, he's back to form, it seems. Yeah. I had Rooney in my very first team at the start of the season, was pretty awful. And now thinking about it, looking back, I should have known because United always seem to struggle kind of in the start of the season. But traditionally, at least, they always then kick on after Christmas. And Rooney is already kind of living up to that tradition and doing very well. So definitely stick with him. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't carry on that form. Yeah, and Southampton, I mean, maybe they've done well in the last couple of games, but when they go up to Old Trafford, it's a lot different. It's a completely different story. It's going to be harder for them, and Rooney is on fire, so very good. Even potential captaincy over these two. For me, I would probably end up going with Rooney if I had him. But yeah, so that's just one to consider. So you've got Baines in there as well. I know that's one that I'm very much supporting and I'm a fan of. I like, yeah, just his chances basically. I mean, the only kind of issue I see with this is the Swansea. You've got the 2 there when I'm predicting that Everton should score at least 1, if not more. So yeah, that's probably the one to consider. Januzaj random, but it could be worth bringing in as well. And it might even be worth playing Ivanovic over Williams to compensate that. I would stick those 2 Swansea players on the bench. So that would just be my advice anyway. Totally up to you, your team. So yeah. But thanks a lot for the tweet anyway, and good luck for the game week. And it looks like we've got a few more teams. Amazing. Wow, this stream's been going for 45 minutes already. And we've still got a few on the chat as well. Awesome. So yeah, let's carry on. I'll go up to, well, it's 9 for me, but 8. 8 o'clock for you guys. That'll be the cut-off point anyway. Let's see how many more teams I can get through in that time. But anyway, Callum. Another Callum. Thanks for tweeting me your team. Again, Lukaku probably is the most popular captain pick for this week. And yeah, maybe it's that thing of, I mean, if he's going to score big, then you have to have him as captain. I haven't got him in my team, so that's why I'm not going to have him in as captain. So that's a strong bench as well. Wow. Yeah, over the players you've got in the starting lineup, I don't see where those come in. I was actually thinking this myself, kind of avoiding the Chelsea-Arsenal game just because it could be a stalemate. They could cancel each other out. Yeah, could be a pretty boring Monday night football. Is it Monday? Or the later game, sorry, whenever it is. But yeah, it could be a low-scoring game, so that actually I actually agree with that. And you've already got Barkley as well, so I'm kind of challenging you on that. I'm going for Captain Barkley over even having Lukaku in my team. But for me, yeah, you've gone down the right thought process, I would say. Mark, thanks for the question. The new Twitter account is just because I want to keep the Joe Ryan 365 one separate. I want to keep the FFM_Joe Twitter account for all things FPL. And it just links up better with my website as well and the YouTube channel rather than the other one. So that's why. And yeah, I hope it's not too much of a jarring change. It shouldn't be. It's pretty simple to remember. So that's why. And thanks to everyone who's been following me, by the way, on this new channel or new Twitter profile. It's where I'm going to be talking about FPL exclusively. The other one now, if you want to jump over, if you're already following me on Joe Ryan 365, then yeah, feel free to jump over to the new one, because this is where we'll be talking about FPL. The other stuff is going to be more personal and work-based. So that explains that. Bartek, thanks for your tweet as well. Guessing Walker won't play. Yeah, it was a surprising one, him not actually being in the squad, was he, last time? I'm seeing you've got on the bench. So yeah, you've got Macaulay. Unlucky Villa are going to score. Yeah, just my personal opinion that Villa are going to win. But yeah, I mean, it's not too bad a change, is it? Because they've probably got a good chance of getting a clean sheet. But yeah, I don't want to say that out too much. Otherwise, pretty strong lineup, isn't it, really? I mean, you've even got Wijnaldum on the bench. Probably a good shout, because does he do it away from home? I think all of his goals, is it 9 he scored? All at home. He hasn't yet scored away, as far as I know. So, yeah, makes sense. And, I mean, yeah, the only 50-50 would be with Ali again. But otherwise, that looks like the strongest 11 you can field. So, I'd be very happy with that if that was my team. Yeah, nothing else to add, really. I don't know if anyone else in the chat, if you wanted to add in anything, then go for it. Okay, no. Just having to check if there's any actual questions for me. That's a low ranking. All right. But yeah, carry on chatting if you want, guys. That's really cool. Play Smith as you're playing Kane and Ali. Yeah. Who have I actually got if I switch back to my team? Oh no. Alright, well I've managed to crash the FPL website on my computer. So I can't check my team, but yeah, I'll look into that. Yeah, thanks. Right, just get to a few more. Anthony, I think we actually talked about your team earlier. I think all I said on this one was that it was interesting how much money you'll probably have in the bank. A lot of funds free to sign maybe Sanchez, looking at the midfield, or Aguero, Costa, whoever you want pretty much by the looks of things. Oh, now we might be able to. Yes. Get to my team again. But yeah, going back, sorry, Anthony, your team does look good, and I actually quite like having Vardy as captain in there as well. I just think Leicester could have a good chance at coming back to form this week. Okay, so someone says play Smith over Ward. Yeah, that's probably the one change I will make. I don't know. Sticking with captain though and vice, that's set. I'll confirm that. And if it doesn't work out, if Ward ends up scoring a lot of points, then I know who to blame. Yeah, I know exactly who to blame. Cheers, FPL Junior. But yeah, I'll take that advice and put it into practice. See how we go. I mean, I'm not that fussed about that defence. But yeah, thanks for the tip. And Victor, going for Barkley captain, good choice. That's all I have to say about that. Rest of the lineup looks pretty strong as well. Yeah, great captain choice. A strong rest of the team as well. Probably ranked a lot higher than I am, I'm guessing. Can't quite see, but very good. And yeah, very nice. Anyway, more teams. Okay, so the finished choice from Anthony, Vardy captain, Ericsson in there. That changed, didn't it? Yeah, okay. Wow, did you just make that transfer just now? Interesting. And benching Payet. Third sub. Okay, I would probably switch Payet around. If you're not confident that he's going to do better than Gosling, for instance, then yeah, maybe think about that. I would be playing Payet because I think he's good enough to do it against any team in the league. Probably even swap Wijnaldum for Payet if I was in charge of this team. Obviously, completely up to you. But that would be my suggestion anyway. And then yeah, you can blame me if I go if it all goes wrong. Anyway, I think yeah, 55 minutes now of this stream. I think that's enough in terms of teams. I don't know if guys, if it helped in any way, then please let me know in the chat. I'll stick around for maybe 5 minutes as well, just in the live chat. But also just wanted to highlight this, if I'm pointing the right way. This is a competition set up by FF Pundit and Fantasy Year Mart on Twitter. If you join in, then basically you've got the potential to win some prizes. Now, I don't know what the prizes are yet. I've not actually seen them, but I did promise that I would give this a plug. So if you guys want to join that league, then go and do that. Yeah, and I might do some updates as well on the YouTube channel to see how that goes. Hopefully I'm going to do pretty well. Qualifying starts this week, so we'll see. But yeah, that's going to be it for tonight's live stream. Thanks a lot for joining. Hopefully it was helpful in any way. Thanks a lot for all the comments, all the tweets, everything like that. Feel free to get involved in future live streams using that hashtag. And I will speak to you all soon. Good luck for the game week. Cheers, guys.